They look like big, strong hands, don't they?
I always thought that's what they were.
And welcome to the Ruby Tuesday. My name is Ruben, and this is my review for Netflix's original animated film, I Lost My Body. A cut-off hand escapes from a dissection lab with one crucial goal: to get back to its body. As it scrambles through the pitfalls of Paris, it remembers its life with the young man it was once attached to until they met. Gabrielle. So this is one of those animated films that have done the rounds, and Netflix have acquired the rights to it. Thankfully, we have seen it now, and I have to say it's lived up to my ample expectation. When I saw the trailer for this, I just thought it looked visually stunning, but you never know from a trailer until you see the film. It runs like about an hour and a half, and I have to say the journey of this hand trying to meet up with its owner, its body, is fantastic. There's kind of two stories going on here. One with the owner, the body, the boy, as you see his life from what happened when he was a child. There's this dramatic event with his parents, and that shapes his whole kind of future until he meets the kind of love of his life, or things change in his life. And then you see the hand experiencing its own life through its owner's eyes and memories, I guess, from the hand. One of the things I really enjoyed about this film, and it kind of never really answers the questions that you have in your mind, is how is this hand even alive? It's like Thing, from the Addams Family. And you, the whole time you're thinking, what has this got to do with it? Is it magic? And it makes you ask the questions yourself. But that's just the surface of the film. So beneath it all, there's lots going on, and it makes you ask questions to yourself, like, what is the meaning of life? This boy's life is there's one traumatic event that changes his life forever, and you really feel it. But visually, this story is told through the visual medium. It's very light on the script. There is some scripting and it's subtitles because it's a French film. The story is told through their styles. One major artistic style, and then it's shown through, the memories are shown most of the time through black and white, and then you have amazing perspectives, which I think are just fantastic. Sometimes you see the hand in certain shots, and the surrounding city or Paris with the tall buildings or pigeons or spiders or rats. Just the way they show perspective is fantastic, and I was surprised at how tense this film was in certain parts, especially towards the end when you find out how the hand got to be the hand, and you're like, no, don't do that. It is quite touching as well. It's a heart-wrenching story because one moment sets this boy's life on a trajectory that it wasn't going to go. At the beginning, he had so much potential. It looked like he was going to do great things with his life, and because of this one moment, it gets set on a new path, and then you see him trying to scramble, trying to figure out what life is. Sorry, not scramble. He's trying to figure out who he is and what the meaning of life is for him in this new world, because of that moment. And you see how he figures out what life is until he meets that one person that he really kind of knits together with. That one person that he feels like can help him figure out life. And then you continue to ask yourself questions as the story evolves and develops, and gets you to say, hey, look, take a look at this, and it reflects like things back at yourself. I think it's very cleverly done. There's a lot going on beneath the surface, but actually, if you love animated films, you're going to love this. If you love kind of in-depth films that gets you to ask questions, I think you're going to love this. I think this is for everybody, really. Even if you don't like animated films, this is a very well told story through the visual medium. The story is told visually. There was this film that my family and I saw called The Red Hurt, and it reminded me a lot of that. One of the big characters of this film is also the score, which is very ambiotic. I'm not sure that's a word. It's fills with ambience. The score drives the mood and tone of the film. As you can imagine, with a film that is light on dialogue, you have the visual medium, then you have the score with the overtones of the themes that you're trying to tell, the story that you're trying to tell. And if done right, it's superb. One of my favorite scenes in this film, there's a moment where the hand meets a bunch of rats, and the music shifts tone, and the vibrancy of the what you're seeing is like really intense, but the score just helps it so much. And it's so nice to see where animation can really become art. I think this is a film that is art, but it tells a story. It's not like artsy fartsy, I guess that's a term, where you're just like, oh, this is just one of those films where people are like, look at me, I'm amazing. But it is a story that is crafted well. And sometimes when people say, have you seen films, have you seen this film? You've got to watch this film. I feel like this is one of those. Have you seen I Lost My Body? Because it's awesome. Do you remember this part? It's going to be one of those films. I know it's done its rounds at a certain film festival, so a few people have reviewed it already, but it's just dropped on Netflix. So now the world, or at least 140 countries, wherever Netflix is going to be able to see it. And if you haven't had it on your list to watch, I would suggest putting it there now. If you weren't sure about it, whether this is your cup of tea, definitely check it out. It's only an hour and a half, and it's a well-told story. I'm going to give it an A+. Can't find anything wrong with it. Loved how the story shaped towards the end. It's one of my first A+s I've given this year, I think. So it tells you the caliber of story that you're about to watch, hopefully. Thanks so much for watching my content. I hope you enjoyed this review, but most of all, until next time, remember, live long and Tuesday.